Welcome back to Gravity Rush. We have our home back, and we ran into our detective pal from the last game. Yay!
We had a detective pal in the last game.
Yes.
Okay. We did that commentary like a good 2 years ago, man.
Dr. Brahmin. Oh no. Now I'm thinking of Fallout for entirely the wrong reasons. In the Fallout series, there's a species of, I think, a two-headed cow, which people use for livestock, called a Brahmin, with an I at the end rather than an A.
Okay, so remind me. At the end of the last game, there was a time skip, and like a totalitarian government took over, and then we beat them up.
Yes.
Okay. And so while we're gone, an
This
even
guy,
more
this guy,
totalitarian.
not even totalitarian. It's just hyper organized.
Okay. So they're less evil, at least overtly, than the
Yes.
old guys. Okay.
Okay, you see, this is an interesting setup where we have to actually watch this guy's back before we know he's necessarily not all on the up and up. Um,
He has a monocle, therefore he is evil.
yeah, the Japanese do love their character design tropes.
Well, I mean, that's a Western trope, too, is the monocle evil guy. Like, that's like a Dick. No, Dick Dastardly doesn't have a monocle, but.
In Western tropes, monocle usually means comedy relief snob more often than villain.
Yeah, but you usually don't like them.
Yeah, but they're usually like the C-3PO of the gang. Ow.
Cat, it literally did tell you that it was about to happen.
I
He
think
literally said he was going to blow up. What the hell?
I think she was talking about before she was sent to do this thing.
Shake my head, Cat. Shake my head.
Oh, she's not very bright.
She's not gonna shake your head for you, Ted. You've got to take initiative and do that yourself.
All right.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Shake your own head.
Okay, fine. There, I did it. Are you
Anyway.
happy now? Are you proud of me,
Yes.
Dad?
You accomplished the American dream, son.
Yay!
Uh, it is kind of nostalgic seeing the original Gravity Rush 1 city in all of its PS4 glory.
I really do enjoy the architecture style that the original Gravity Rush 1 city had. I also appreciate that despite kind of just being a city, it does look significantly different than the normal city kind of areas from earlier in the game. I almost want to say the previous game because this really does feel like it should be its own separate game. But this area and the areas we were in the earlier sections do feel distinct enough to, visually and
Mhm.
architectural wise too, to be, wholly separate, which I think is harder to do than it's kind of sounds. Like, if we look at our favorite blue rodent, most of the cities in those games look very, very similar. It's just like,
It wasn't really until Sonic Unleashed that they very deliberately chose an architectural influence for their cities.
yeah, like
Um,
the only one that looks that different is like the City Escape City, and that's just because it's San Francisco.
yeah.
If it's not trying, like even the futuristic looking cities all look like the same futuristic looking city. So it takes a lot of work to make your town look varied and unique. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that they went through
Uh,
the efforts to do that.
in modern times, it's a lot more common to see game developers, art teams deliberately looking at different architectural styles around the world and basing their settings on those
Yeah,
styles.
a lot of them will just straight up go on trips.
Yeah.
Do you
Take a
want to know
shitload of
what the new
photos.
Pokemon area is going to be based on? Where did Junichi Masuda go on vacation last?
Yeah. Although, if the current trend continues, there will always be an analog to every single character in Sun and Moon.
Oh God. Well,
I mean,
that's its own can of worms.
I mean, I'm not the only one who sees it, right? How like uh, Team Yell is basically Team Skull again, except
Yeah. No.
the punk rival character is now a punk girl character. I like Marnie better than I like the character from Sun and Moon, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. No. There's definite.
Yeah, well, they serve different roles in the story,
Yeah.
so.
Marnie doesn't have a role in the story. She doesn't
Marnie
do
is basically just
anything.
a side story about this one town that's ironically like it feels like the developers are using the story as a way to bitch about some mandate that they have a gimmicky new special ability in every game now. Because there's this whole storyline about a town that just doesn't have the magical mojo stuff that allows the Pokemon to grow big. And it's like going to pot economically because of that. It's interesting, but at the same time, it feels like the developers are just stealth complaining about the fact that they had to have the giant stuff in the game anyway.
Listen, the best things in anything are when the creators are self-complaining. As we all know by the television masterpiece, Kirby Right Back at Ya aired on the Fox Box. The best episode of that show is the one where the team is making a animated cartoon and DDD is the producer. And one of his literal lines is, "I'm the producer," which means you have to listen to everything I say. And
It's a little bit though like Indominus Rex in Jurassic World, how the Indominus Rex is just like an allegory for everything that ruined Jurassic Park 3. But
oh yeah, I remember. Oh, you see, Jurassic World was a surprisingly dull watch when I watched it, but I remember that they were like one of the scientists talks about like how
The guy
the
from
new
the first movie.
yeah, but like no, I'm thinking of one of the guys in
you
the
wanted
in the
bigger
security
teeth.
station.
You wanted more teeth. Yeah, Henry Wu, one of the characters returning from the first movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted more teeth. And then one of the other guys in the security room is talking about how this new park is like, it's so fake, man, and you're like all selling out. And the old park was like legit, man. And then the main woman has to be like, people died.
Yeah. There were some good characters, but I just can't get over the fact that they made their protagonists like the leads from the most boring grocery store romance novel you can possibly imagine. So there's like nothing about them that makes me want to like learn more about them as characters.
I know the actress who plays the main woman in that movie, but her and Chris Pratt really do not have chemistry.
You know, they might if they were playing different characters, but the best thing that I can say for that actress and Chris Pratt, and I really only remember Chris Pratt's name. I'm sorry, I'm not up with celebrities, but like, the fact that they are good actors is the only thing those characters have going for them.
Yeah. That's pretty. I mean, I wanted to like that movie. I really did, but I don't.
There are individual sequences that are okay.
Like the part where
Which you probably just binge on YouTube nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to watch the entire movie.
well that
to get those
I think was
bits.
part of the problem is that even when you got to the dinosaur stuff, it was much more. Actually, okay, that's not entirely fair. I was going to say they're much more drawn out and spaced apart, but if you go back to the original Jurassic Park, there's not that much dinosaur
There's like
stuff.
a collective 15 minutes, I think, of dinosaur stuff in the original
Yeah.
movie because, well, the effects were just
Technology.
so goddamn expensive to do. So
Yeah, so it was a lot of like walking around and them talking and character work. which was done really well, which was why we were invested in that movie.
It was done really well in spite of being loads more simplistic than what went on in the book the movie was based on. So that's
We already went on that tangent.
that's an accomplishment in itself, is all I'm saying. It's like, yeah, okay, the characters and the writing did pull their weight as far as that was concerned. Even if I'm a little bit bitter about the nature of the changes they did make in places.
Are we gonna ever just do the Jurassic Park video commentary one day?
We should.
Well, no, because this is Lewis talking about the book.
Yeah.
Well,
You
then we
know
can
it.
do the audiobook
Lewis-
commentary.
Yeah, Lewis should do an audiobook of the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Michael Crichton.
I should. I should absolutely get myself sued into oblivion for doing that.
Hey, you said it, not me.
No,
Are you
just
allowed to
sprinkle a bit of, you sprinkle a little bit of farts in here, and you can get away with fair use.
Yeah, or you can make it. God, would it be fair use if you read the book out loud, and then stopped periodically to make your points about it?
Make a
If you
sandwich.
did it,
Because that's because that's
long as-
effectively like what an English class does, and English classes aren't
if you did it in like
against fair use.
700 separate videos spaced out across a span of time, then you're basically the YouTube channel that talks about the books. That's what I'm trying to remember the name of the channel. Clayton, whatever.
I'm sure there's more than one YouTube channel that talks about.
He calls his subscribers park rangers or something. That guy. A lot of his videos are basically just him reading a passage from the book and talking briefly about what that thing was about in the book.
If you were to make a video or a channel based on you reading the book out loud and interjecting your own commentary, like between paragraphs and other things,
That'd be fair use.
that's a transformative work. Yeah, you can totally do that and be fine.
As long as you're not reading it yourself and trying to sell it or post it as just an audiobook, that
Yeah.
would get you in trouble.
Okay, so what I should do then is I should take the supermarket romance novels and then read them and critique how sexy they are. Because as we see on the cover of this one, there is a sexy Scot not wearing a shirt. But in the book, it says his hair is brown, when on the cover it is clearly red, meaning my fantasy is being ruined. I am not being
that's
carried
about as-
in the arms of a handsome red-headed Scot. I'm being carried in the arms of a handsome brown-haired Scot.
I mean, that's about as basic bitch as you can get.
Listen,
But it is
do
technically
you
a
know
critique, and it's
do you
transformative.
know the different kind of realms that romance novels go into now? There are so many weird subgenres of romance novel. There's the Scot.
Oh, I believe it. My mom was all over that shit.
There's the
a
Scot.
good part
There's
of her
like the
life.
handsome Scot. There's like the rakish Duke. There's all sorts of crap.
Dominic Smith, the guy who does Lost in Adaptation, has been doing a side series about that stuff for a while now.
Stop the cat.
He's already covered the Viking romance, and
Viking stuff. Yeah.
I think I haven't watched it, but I think he did a video on like one of the animal shifter genres. Yes, there are multiple animal shifter genres. They basically exist because Amazon.
Animorphs?
They basically
Oh,
exist because
God.
Amazon won't let you publish straight up bestiality. But anyway,
Oh God, no, Ryan. You just made me realize that there's probably a whole terrible side of Animorphs fan fiction that I don't want to read. Especially since those characters are like 14 years old.
You know damn well there is, Ted.
Yeah, I know, but you just made me realize that it's real.
you know,
And I don't want that.
hang on. I'm gonna
That's like 86 in horse years.
I'm gonna either like confirm or deny this. Okay. Fanfiction.net. Let's see. Let's put this debate to rest before this
Can we
part
not?
ends. All right. Books.
Well, the part's over, so
It's gonna take about a second. Okay. Books.
1,000.
Animorphs 5.2 thousand fan fiction. So there's enough in here that it might be possible, but it's probably not as bad as you imagine, Ted.
They're 14. Can we? Okay, whatever.
I have noticed this.
Did you know the legal age of consent in
No.
Japan?
See you next part.
The fewer fan fictions there are, the fewer bad ones there are. It's the law.
We will see you all next part, goddammit.